unparalleled coverage. City News on 97.3 FM. Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
City News.
It's 17:30 GMT. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. I am Umaru Sanda Amadu. Tonight I'm here with
Akusia Ochre.
And coming up over the next 90 minutes.
Once you stay in Parliament for long, you get to know. Look at what the NDC is doing. They protected all their good materials in the party. And I thought that MPP would follow or copy the example of the NDC.
As governing NPP MPs face stiff competition in their constituencies, we hear from an embattled MP who wants protection from his party. Also coming up, parents of school children in 5 senior high schools in the eastern region resort to private water tankers after they were disconnected by the Ghana Water Company Limited for debts or over huge debts. And later on Eyewitness News.
If you start putting voter region in 2024 and attempt to rig the election by hurting any one person, I will not tell you what to do. But maybe write your will and everything before you come here.
Minority Chief Whip and MP for Adaklu, Gavin Kwame Agboja, vows to reply violence with more violence in election 2024. Reckless comment or fair warning? Stay with 97.3 Citi FM for more on this and many other stories on Eyewitness News. And in business,
SNET increases monthly pension payment by 15%.
That's in 50 minutes from the Citi Business Desk. Eyewitness News is live across Ghana on a host of affiliate stations, including Bugli Radio 88.6 in Wa in the Upper West region, Word 88.3 FM in Zwarungu in the Upper East region, Dasuma 99.1 FM in Yendi in the Northern region, in the Volta region on Holy 98.5 FM in Aflau, in the Eastern region on Right 90.1 FM in Somanya, in the Ashanti region on Orange 107.9 FM in Kumasi. If you go to the Bono region, we are on Greener 95.9 FM, also in Sunyani. In the Western region, we are in Takrady on a number of affiliates, including Premier 100.5 FM, Beach 105.5 FM, and Sky Power 93.5 FM. Let's settle for details of our stories now. And it's an election year, so we do have lots of election-related activities happening. Former President Mahama, who is flag bearer of the NDC, has been moving about the country advertising for his re-election bid. Now, he's actually been doing that, and his train has stopped in the Volta region. Lots of people, as is typical with these rallies, would speak at the event. One of the persons who spoke at John Mahama's rally is the MP for Adaklu, who is also the minority chief whip, Gavin Kwame Agboja. He made some statements that have gone viral. We have him on the line. We'll be speaking to him in a bit, but let's first hear what he said.
Volta region is ready to protect the ballot. Volta region shall not be a crime scene in 2024 when any single life will be lost during the election. Mr. President, we are brave people, and I can assure you, anybody planning, you can change the commander at Navy. You can change IGP. You can even make yourself the IGP, the Army Commander. If you start putting voter region in 2024 and attempt to rig the election by hurting any one person, I will not tell you what to do. But maybe write your will and everything before you come here. We shall not start any fight. We shall not start any fight because of election. But if anybody starts a fight, we shall complete it. Mr. President, the Electoral Commission has conducted an illegal election during the District Assembly election. The CI 127 is clear. The use of indelible ink is not a discretion. It is a matter of law. In Regulation 33(2)(c), it is mandatory. And let me read for the avoidance of doubt. See, a mark which shall not made shall so far as possible be permanent shall be made on the voter. The question is, when I went to vote, was a mark made on me? No. But guess what, Mr. President? We promise you, when Parliament resumes, your gallant minority side will take the necessary action against the Electoral Commission. But we promise the people of this country that the thinking of conducting 2024 election without indelible ink or closing at 3 p.m. can only happen on our dead body. It will not happen. We shall not support the change of CI 127 to make it possible for Jim Mensah, who I call an appendage and a full soldier of NPP, to rig the election. We shall ensure that the voters in this region and every region's vote count. Double voting will not happen. Mr. President, we encourage you to work hard in other parts of the country. As for Volta region, we can guarantee you we are ready for you. And we shall do everything to make sure you become president. You are the hope of this region. And we are committed to all the policies you are rolling out. In fact, whenever we hear your policies, it's just that even if you are hungry, you know that the food coming one day. Because 24-hour economy is good. The teachers are happy. I am also excited to report to you, Mr. Speaker, Mr. President.
So that's Gavin Kwame Agboja. He's Minority Chief Whip and MP for Adaklu. He's joined us on the line. You're welcome to Eyewitness News, sir.
Good evening, Umaru, and good evening to your cherished listeners.
Good evening. Listening to your soundbite there, the things that jump at us, you are brave people in the Volta region. You are not going to allow your region to be used as bloodshed. What were you trying to say?
Umaru, I know that on record, even yourself and people in your outfit have been attacked by hoodlums in the past. Umaru, 8 of our compatriots in this country were murdered during the 2020 election. Are you trying to say that the families, the relations of those individuals, given the opportunity again, will not take steps to protect their loved ones that are currently dead, and there's no effort to seek justice for those people? All I'm trying to say is this, that it was simply because of the election 2020 that people lost their lives. I'm saying that in 2024, no one would allow those hoodlums who murdered innocent Ghanaians because of election to operate anywhere. Unless you want to tell me that because of peace, when we see people murdering people, other innocent people, we should just say that peace means that allow hoodlums, wicked people to murder people because of election. I don't think that is what you mean. So we are saying we will take every necessary step, legitimate, to protect everybody who is supposed to vote and let the vote be counted, and whoever wins, that person will be the person to govern us. It's as simple as that.
You use the phrase legitimate steps, and legitimacy here would be from the courts or the police. Is that what you are preaching? Because it does not sound like that's what you intend to do.
I don't know whether if you are home and somebody entered your house, begin to butcher your wife, you will be waiting to go to court after he's finished killing your in an unlikely event. I want to believe that you are not suggesting that if you see somebody enter your house trying to attack your children, your wife, and everybody in your house, you will say that because there's a court, you would fold your arms and wait and go to court later. Is that what you are trying to suggest?
What would you do?
In fact, I would have been, of course, you fight back. I would encourage you. Omar Sanda, if anybody enters your house illegitimately, begin to attack your family, fight back. Save them first before you call the police. Save them first before you go to court. That will be a responsible decision to be made. Peace does not mean that you should become meek and hopeless in the face of wickedness and senseless attack on your person.
When you say anyone planning to attack you on election day should write their wills, it means you are planning to kill people on December 7th.
Well, I said something in a metaphor, but why are you not worried about those people? Omar, do you care about the 8 people who have died during the 2020 election?
Continue.
Omaru, do you care about those 8 people who have been killed and their families? I'm asking you directly a question. Do you care about them?
Are you planning to kill people on the election day of
Omaru,
December 7, 2024?
Do you care about the lives of the 8 people who were murdered and their families? And as we speak, nobody is seeking justice for them. Do you care about them? If you care, I want to hear you say what you expect the state to do to seek justice for them. Because as I said, when you enter, anybody enters your house, enters my house, begin to attack. Or anybody, I go to vote, anybody attacks me, I expect those who are around to take the necessary steps to stop that person.
So my question still holds.
You are not worried about those who have killed the 8 people. You are worried about somebody who is saying that if we find anybody in 2024 trying to kill people, we should protect those people who have been attacked. You are worried about that. Don't you realize that once there's nobody attacking or trying to kill people during the election, there will not be any response?
So the question still stands.
Yes.
When you say people who plan to rig the elections of 2024, whether it's an IGP or an army commander, they should write their will. You are presupposing that you are ready to kill people on the election day at the polling station.
No, I'm not ready to kill anybody, but I will encourage you.
I think wills are written for dead people, right? So if you say will, then we know what it means.
Dead people don't write will. Actually, living people write.
Yes, but they write it because they are going to die.
Well, I mean, you don't write will because you want to die. You write will.
There are wills that are written under those circumstances. When someone is about to die, they write a will. That happens.
I don't know anybody who writes will because they want to die. There
are people who, when they're about to die, they write a will. But that's not even that's not even the issue. The issue is that
you will not.
Honorable.
Umaru, I will tell you this.
Yes.
Your question. The premise of your question is wrong. I'm saying that.
The premise of my question is you have said that anyone planning to rig the election should write their will before coming. Honorable, just a second. Just a second.
Avoiding the obvious.
Just a second.
You have been attacked. You have been attacked.
Let me just ask let me ask a question. You let me ask a question, then you can answer.
No. Umaru, let me respond first. I'm saying that if I'm your next door neighbor and I see anybody attacking you, I'll come to your rescue. I will not wait for you to be killed before I go to court. I can guarantee you that because I want you to be alive.
Thank you for being a caring neighbor.
No matter what justice I get at the court when you are dead, you are not good to your family.
Okay, that's fine. I appreciate it.
Is not promising to fear anybody. We are sounding the warning that those individuals who killed 8 people in the 2020 election, we are seeing all the things they are doing currently. We are hearing all the things. We heard the how do you call it? The defense minister threatening hell.
Hello, Honorable, I'm losing you. I can't hear you. Honorable, hello? Honorable Agoya, sorry, I lost you there. Can you hear me? Hello? Hello, Honorable?
Yes, I'm listening to you.
Yeah, can you hear me? I lost you momentarily.
I can hear you now. The line.
Okay, great.
We are on the field.
Okay, yes, it's understandable. It's understandable. So, what was the import of the use of the word will in your warning or in your statement?
Medra.
Explain that, please. Sorry, I'm really having difficulties hearing you. So let's try and make that point again. I didn't hear you. Sorry, I really am having difficulties. I think we have to try and re-establish connection with you. It's a bit tricky. The line we have to Gavin Kwame Agboja. He's a member of parliament for Adaklu in the Volta region. Also recently appointed minority whip, that means he essentially is a man in charge of whipping, and not literally, but NDC members of parliament in the house, making assurances or giving assurances to former President Mahama, who was a flag bearer of the NDC, but also making some statements that we're just trying to understand what he intended to say when he said what he said. where he talks about anyone planning to rig the election should write their own will before coming. And then another part where he says, if anybody starts a fight, they shall complete the fight for that person. We'll be asking him to explain himself what exactly he intended to do. I think we have him back on the line. Let me go back, hopefully on a better line this time. Honorable Agboja, I was asking you, and I hope this time around we can hear each other, what the import of the use of the word will was when you put it in your sentence.
Question, actually. I'm saying that if you are a murderer, I'm not talking about you, those who murdered the 8 people, I'm sure they are probably the same.
It's really tricky here. Apologies. Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes. It's really difficult.
You got away with it in 2020. You might not be that large in 2024. So if you are full and thinking repeating same in 2024, it's a good idea to write your will. I don't think that is a threat at all.
So you are referring to the people who killed the 8 people in December 2020.
Yes.
Do you know who those people are?
Because as far as I'm concerned, nobody has been arrested. Those people didn't die of heart attack, did they? They were murdered. They were shot. You understand? They were shot. So Maru, I'm repeating, if those people who carried those heinous crimes are still alive, are thinking of repeating it, maybe the magical victim, because people fight back in self-defense. That is as simple as that.
What do you have?
I'm not threatening anybody, but I believe in self-defense, those people might become victims.
I see. In 2012, I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
In 2012, then candidate Akufo-Addo made the infamous statement of all die be die, where he talks about the fact that NDC thought that you had more violence in you than they did. And he said, and he referred to the male organ and said both men had 2 balls each. And he said if you brought it on, it was going to be all die be die. That was condemned by your party, condemned by everybody who wanted peace in this country. What you have said tonight is the same as what Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo said at the time, which you condemned, isn't it?
It's not the same. You are the one who saying it's the same. I'm saying that if you come to my house or I go to the polling station to vote and you come and attack me, I'll defend myself. How does that compare to all die be die? I don't want to die. I don't want you to the person who is attacking also to die. So it is the opposite of all die be die. Because I want.
But you talk about wills, and you're not talking about death, and you're talking about a will.
Why are you worried about will? You don't. If you are not,
I'm not worried. I'm not worried. I'm concerned that you are talking. You're telling people to draw up wills.
You are the same person who said that it is when people want to die that they write will. And I'm saying that I want everybody to be alive. So there's no need for any will. If you are not going to carry out those things that will result into that, then there's no need to. But in any case, I will encourage you and everybody to write a will, because you don't write will because you want to die. You write will because you want to understand what happens when you are not here. So you don't write will because you want to die.
What was the purpose of your use of the word will then? If it is not because of an expectation of death or dying or killing, what was the purpose of the use of the word will?
Umaru, you keep asking me a question. I just asked you one question. You have refused to answer the question.
Because, Honorable, if this was the appointment, if this was the appointments committee, you could ask questions and I'll answer. Unfortunately, you don't
Umaru,
have the.
Umaru,
yes.
You are a patriotic Ghanaian. I ask you a direct question. Do you care about the 8 people who have died during the?
I would want to see justice. I would want to see justice for those people.
Is justice being carried out?
That's actually for.
Do you know of any process seeking justice for those people?
You tell me if there's a prosecution happening in court.
I am not aware.
Okay.
And I'm saying that instead of waiting for more innocent people to die, let's take the necessary step to tell each other, do not go near the situations that led to the death of innocent 8 people in our country. I want you to focus on what we will do to prevent anybody, including you and I, being hurt, rather than being worried about the so-called. And in fact, Umaru, when the defense minister said that you make an example of an individual, that this is the defense minister who actually controls the army, threatening that he would use somebody as an example for the NDC. as a scapegoat for the NDC? Did you call him to ask him whether the defense minister's comment, somebody who is in charge of the army, whether he was threatening to kill people to set example to NDC that more NDC people will be killed in 2024 election?
Honorable Agboja, finally, you said if anybody starts a fight on election day, you would help the person complete that fight. Can you explain that too?
Umaru, the simple understanding of that is that I am not one of those people who believe that if you slap me, I should turn my if you slap my left, I will give you the right one to be slapped. I can guarantee you, if without provocation you slap me, I'll slap you back.
You are a Moses person, not a Jesus person.
Well, maybe I'm not saying it biblically. But all I'm saying is that if there's no initiation of fight, there's no need for a completion of fight. I know the reason and the only thing when the NPP tells you that they will use strategy, they will use other ways, it is possible to win election. They are telling you that they don't believe that a free and fair election can give them victory. They will use other things, and they've tried it in 2020. So, Umaru, I don't promise any violence. I don't promise anything. In fact, I don't have any means to initiate all those things. But I am saying that it is a legitimate decision of any reasonable human being in self-defense to take action that will save his life and that of his loved one. And I will encourage you to do so. I was very sad when you were attacked. In fact, imagine Ahmed Swale, family, knew what was going to happen to him. Don't you think that they would have been around him to defend him when those murderers came there?
In fact,
you are like, I mean, yes, none of us is safe.
My co-uncle Kwame Agboja was attacked at your party office here in Accra. She had to be off work for close to 3 months. I'm sure you've heard about that too. It did not happen from the government or the NPP side.
Umaru,
yes,
it is by the grace of God I'm alive. Google right now, Adakuru MP car radio with bullets. It is a miracle I'm alive. So today, I don't know who shot into my vehicle. I am talking about an experience that nearly ended my life in 2017.
So if NDC persons start the fight like the one they took to my colleague here in the studio, you are suggesting that the MPP side should complete that fight for them too?
Your colleague who?
She's sitting in the studio here. Her name is Akosia Oche. She was brutalized by your party members.
Akosia is actually my good friend.
Yes, and
that it was a condemnable action.
Good. So the question is, if such a thing happens in 2024 December 7, okay, the media person, the media person who is attacked by your party goons should end the fight, and the other opposition party should also complete the fight. Correct?
Umaru, if I'm standing by my very good friend Akosia, and even you, who is also a good friend, attack her, I'll defend her. That's all I can tell you. If I'm standing near you, who is my good friend, and Akosia, and you attack her, I am promising you I'll defend her. Whatever it is.
Lastly, you talk about the indelible ink. Are you going to fight it through the legislative means, or you're going to the courts, or you're simply going to say on election day, if there's no ink, there'll be no vote? How are you planning to deal with that? Because I've heard you giving assurances.
All options are available to us. I just read the law to you, and I know you are. In fact, you understand the law already. What the EC did was illegal. She had no option. It is not how do you call it? Optional. It is not a discretionary. You must necessarily, in a public election, use an indelible ink. She didn't use it. It's an illegal act. But because nobody talks about it, she is threatening to do the same thing in the 2024 election. And we are saying that we'll take all legitimate action.
That's what I want to know. Would it be legal action, or you're going to physically insist that it should be done on the election day, or you're going to use a parliamentary route?
I started by saying all options are on the table.
Very well.
And Umaru, I want you to take this message to the Electoral Commission. Ever so often, we are worried about people who are victims of the actions of the inactions of the EC, and you don't say anything to admonish her that what she's doing is illegal. What are you? I am a victim here. You are a victim here. The person who is perpetuating the illegality is the Electoral Commission. Instead of you focusing to tell her that Your conduct is illegal and unconstitutional. We are discussing what other people will do. Why are you always making victims feel, rather sad? The person who has the power and the law in their hand is the Electoral Commission.
Let's leave it here. Thank you for speaking to us.
Thank you very much.
That's Gavin Kwame Agboja. He's Minority Chief Whip and MP for Adaklu in the Volta region. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We are coming to you from our studios in Adabraka in Accra. We are interactive. Join us on WhatsApp 0549 986 996 0549 986 996.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Ready to upgrade to awesome? Say hello to the new Samsung Galaxy A05, A05s, A15, and A25 5G. Unlock the magic of the awesome screen, 6.7 inches of pure delight. Available in black, light violet, light green, and silver. Your style, your choice. The awesome 15 megapixel main camera gives you breathtaking photos. Built with the 5000 mAh awesome battery, guaranteed to last long, and a 25 watts fast charger ensures you spend less time charging. Make your memories awesome with any of the new Samsung Galaxy A series range of phones. It's not just a phone, it's a lifestyle. Fall in love with Galaxy all over again.
The wait is over. It's the Clash of Titans. The Total Energies African Cup of Nations Côte d'Ivoire 2023 is here. And as part of this year's competition, all Total Energy service stations will go into 100% football mode. So drive to selected service stations and kickstart your year with lots of amazing giveaways. This is our way of supporting our gallant Black Stars. So starting Sunday 14th January, when you buy fuel or lubricants from selected Total Energy service stations on Ghana match days, you instantly win amazing branded souvenirs. Let's celebrate the passion of football together and win lots of gifts during the 2023 Total Energies African Cup of Nations. Remember, promo is valid while stocks last. Visit our social media pages Total Energies GH for more information. Terms and conditions apply. Let's live football together.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You're welcome back. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Let's go to some other stories now. And this one has to do with the New Patriotic Party. The party goes to the polls on 27th January to elect parliamentary candidates in constituencies that it has sitting MPs. There's been a call for the protection of these sitting MPs. In fact, the first call was made by the NDC's minority whip deputy, the Honorable MP for Banda. He has said that the decision to not protect MPs would weaken it. And again, he talks about 18 MPs not going from the MPP side is really worrying for him. But the recent call is made by a member of parliament who was on this show last night. Akosia has a story. Akosia, read it for us.
Yes, the member of parliament for Asante Achim Central, Kwame Anyimedu Entry, has criticized the New Patriotic Party for its alleged failure to protect experienced members of parliament within the majority caucus. Anyimedu Entry, who is currently engaged in a highly competitive race for his seat with the Chief Executive Officer of the National Entrepreneurship and Innovation Program, Kofi Ofosu-Nkansah, also expressed concern over the departure of 18 experienced members of parliament, including Majority Leader Osei Mensah-Bonsu and the First Deputy Speaker, Joseph Osei-Ozu, who have opted not to seek re-election in the upcoming NPP parliamentary primaries. Addressing journalists, Mr. Anyimedu Entry suggested that the NPP should have emulated the National Democratic Congress by protecting experienced members within the caucus.
It's unfortunate that Ghanaians have a mentality that if you should serve in parliament for 1 term, 2 terms, you must give way to another person to continue from where you left off. That is a very unfortunate situation. Elsewhere in UK and whatnot, people go to parliament and with their experience. People like Mensah-Bonsu, we need him in parliament. But he says he's not going again. These are some of the things that are happening. In my constituency, people have planned to say that, he's kept long. Let us get a method to remove him. Let's do a press conference. People are paying their way to make sure that people would unseat me through press conferences and all that, but none of them flew. So and the more you keep in parliament, it's like wine or whiskey, the older the better. Once you stay in parliament for long, you get to know. Look at what the NDC is doing. They've protected all their good materials in the party. And I thought that MPP would follow or copy the example of the NDC. And I am not saying that here. If you have a whole constituency secretary orchestrating a diabolic plan to remove a peaceful member of parliament, I mean, your guess is as good as mine.
You feel the party hasn't done enough to protect experienced hands in parliament?
Well, not protection directly, because we are a democratic party. And as Democrat, we allow any person that is interested to contest. But stop lying about the member of parliament because he's served for his 4th term. Then you have to come out with lies, and this is unfortunate. And I earlier on said that my constituency secretary is on record as saying that he will do everything possible to unseat me because I didn't support his candidature for the municipal chief executive. So what he's doing now is outwitted by malice. He's saying other things in the constituency, worse things. But I have spoken to the delegates, and I'm very confident, more than confident, that I will win this election.
Finally, from you, what do you think the party can do to protect lawmakers in the House?
I think that as a Democrat party, new patriotic party, what we could do is to have a very fair and transparent elections. With that, the experienced ones would come back to parliament.
You had the Member of Parliament for Asante Achim Central, Kwame Anyimedu Entry.
Richard Ahiagba is the Director of Communications of the New Patriotic Party. Richard, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Tomorrow, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. Does a party consider protecting some of its own in the House of Parliament? Is that something that comes up during discussions, or is always a no-no?
Well, thank you, Maru. I think it's a very tricky situation because if you are doing a democracy, you must be seen to be doing a democracy where the representation of the people emanates from the people. So the people choose who their representatives are. So you allow that at the party level as much as at the national or the constituency level in the national parliament elections for parliamentarians. So you can't short-circuit it. But what other people have done in other places that people are referring to is that they have a rating system. They have a performance measurement system, which itself results from the people. So it's internal party polls that the party would undertake to assess the constituent satisfaction and appreciation for the MP's work. And then on the basis of that, know that if they put that candidate up again in another parliamentary election, the constituents, will support him. The constituents, will work for him to generate the vote in the constituency to win a competitive election for the party to have a representation in that constituency. So it's a party effort. So there are two distinct issues there. The principle must be clear that if you are operating a democracy, then it must be a democracy through and through. The second suggestion where is like, okay, well, we have good materials. And I agree with the suggestion that Honorable Chairman Zabosu, Joe Wise, Atacha, Tambuche, even Kennedy Japan, for example, because of his presidential bid, Joe Gate, because of his presidential bid, are out. Kwesiamu Akwata, for example, I mean, individuals who have been there, they've got lifetime experience. Carlos Ahinkra, for example. These are individuals that perhaps if we had some internal measure of performance and satisfaction with their constituents. Because, Umaru, when this election is said and done, you would find out, let's say, for example, an MP that would win. Okay, you see the people who would vote for him are from the constituency. So let's assume that before the primaries are opened up, based on a suggestion to protect, then the party undertakes a certain internal poll to see that in Asante Achimagogo, for example, which is the conversation, the MP's conversation we're having, that constituency, about 60% of the constituents said they are satisfied with the MP's performance. That's a constituency, if we had that system, the party can say, look, this is a constituency we are not going to have primaries because out of 100, 60% of the people are satisfied with the MP's work. And so if anybody contests him, it's not, the probability of the person winning is minimal. So we can do that. So it will not be protection in the sense of the word, but it will be trying to create competition for the MPs among themselves to save themselves this open primaries by performing and serving their constituents more effectively so that they don't get exposed to this open contest. But for me, the principle must be clear that we are doing democracy, and unless we have this second layer to ensure that the constituents will tell us beforehand that this is the man we want, the open democracy is for everybody to go and contest and have the constituents elect the best is the way to go. But I tell you, I am worried about the state of our bench and potentially some of the senior ones or people, parliamentarians who might lose their seat. That will cost us in terms of experience. I'm thinking here about an MP, Honorable Esla Wusu, for example, now looking at the giants who have left, who would be our front bench, who I'm thinking about the information minister, I'm thinking about the Minister for Energy, I'm thinking about Minister for Education, serious people in Parliament who can get us to be able to lead the debate for us in Parliament, exposed to some of this context. I think that the idea that we'll find a way and get a system to make sure that we create not protection, but create a positive incentives for MPs to serve to the best of their abilities, their constituents, so that they are exempted from some of these things will be a good system for our party to ensure that very effective individuals, such as the 18 that have left and some of the ones that I've mentioned, are not exposed to these wholesale primary elections.
How do you think the solution can be? Because there seems to be many views towards the idea that if the guy is so good, protect him. And there's another school of thought that these 18 MPs who have decided not to contest again may possibly not be doing it because they're tired of Parliament, but because they are worried that there's someone stronger and richer in their constituency who's going to remove them. In such instances where we have people, for instance, from the establishment, from the presidency, going to contest MPs in the constituency who have been busy working. In fact, there are even allegations that the presidency orchestrates the removal of some of the MPs. These things, can the party, crack the whip on that? Do you care who is going to replace who? For instance, Ose Chairman Sabonsu, longest serving currently, decides not to go. Do you as a party think of who replaces him in that constituency, or so far as he's an MP representing, you don't care no matter who it is?
Well, Omar, in the nature of democracy, it's always competitive. So the idea that somebody will compete you, whether somebody is supporting him or not, that really is not material, because the rest of it is speculation that, this person is orchestrating this. People say that because they feel they have a competition. But that's not, for me, what we should pay attention to. Otherwise, if we're paying attention to that, Umaru, we will then be redefining democracy our way. It is for people to determine who their leaders are. So at base level, you open up for people to decide. So that should not be a thing that anybody is worried about. But I get the argument, if we're saying, which I agree with, to say that we have very effective people that for some reason are not going. Okay, 18 of them. I'm saying I have not heard from them to say that is because I cannot stand any competition coming. That's the reason why. Because I know, for example, Nabot Dambuche, for example, cannot say that somebody, you cannot say that somebody intimidates him out of contesting. He may have made that decision himself, and I understand in his constituency, somebody he's nurtured, somebody who works for him, somebody he's confident in is who the constituency is supporting or who is likely to win to become the MP in his stead. You cannot say, Honorable Chairman Sabonsu is being intimidated out of it. Or Joe Wise is intimidated. These are individuals of repute, of capacity, and of strong public acceptability that any day, if they want to run, they'll run. But in democracy, there's no guarantee. You cannot say that I am the man and I must be voted for. That's why it's a democracy. It's a choice of the people. And at the end of the day, the people must be allowed to make that decision. So I'm saying, for example, the allegation that somebody is orchestrating somebody out, that is just talk for people because maybe one thing is against them or the other. That should not be part of the conversation. But is it the expectation that a party should create a certain system? I think I agree, but my worry for that suggestion would be, what system is it? And to what extent is it going to impact the basic allowance of democracy to prevail? If it is a system and arrangement that will affect true practice of democracy, then that will not be the system we want. But if it is so that we can drive a certain performance, and so that we can have beforehand this constituency, the people determine we want Mr. A. And so therefore allowing a contest for the sake of democracy will be counterproductive because the people have made their choice in principle, then I think that's the way to go. And we can implement that to drive positive output amongst our MPs. But right now, Omar, I will admit to you, I'm worried in this contest to say that if any of our sitting MPs don't return, will struggle because the class of MPs that would have in the 2025 parliament, or be the 9th parliament, I suppose, that would be very difficult for us to have the bench be solid as we've had it, or the MPP would like to have it to be able to push government agenda. Because I know you know that we're winning the election on December 7th.
Finally, what's happening in Asante Achim Central? Do you have a comment on that? That your one of your aspirants there was arrested by the special prosecutor yesterday, and the allegation from his side is that he was reported to the OSP by the incumbent MP. It looks like an ugly scene in there. Do you have a comment?
Yeah, certainly, Omar. I think that the special prosecutor is working. We want him to work. I support him to work, but he needs to sanitize his approach a little bit. The days where these kinds of siege attack and the rest of it is in the past. It's a democracy. Invite the gentleman, he'll come. Whatever the concerns are, I think that you can have a civil democratic conversation about it. You have done A, B, C, D, and we think that is in contravention of the law, and have a conversation on how to deal with it. But these kinds of populist invitations or attacks and the rest of those, I think that they are a thing of the past. But I, from what I understand, the gentleman has gone there, maybe acquitted himself to the satisfaction of the OSP. I don't know the next stage of that, but my understanding is that the issue has been dealt with. It's all for the best of our democracy. We'll encourage all the institutions to work, but they must understand that they need to sanitize their approach so they don't create these public spectacles, the appearance of something that has happened, which perhaps may not be the magnitude the process of the invitation will generate for the public. It creates very negative, public perception of the individual and of the process. So I think that I'm happy he's gone home. If there's any further investigation, that should be done. But a special prosecutor should sanitize the way he does his work.
Thank you so much for speaking to us. Richard Ahagba is Director of Communications of the New Patriotic Party.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
The The wait is over. It's the Clash of Titans. The Total Energies African Cup of Nations Côte d'Ivoire 2023 is here. And as part of this year's competition, all Total Energy service stations will go into 100% football mode. So drive to selected service stations and kickstart your year with lots of amazing giveaways. This is our way of supporting our gallant Black Stars. So starting Sunday 14th January, when you buy fuel or lubricants from selected Total Energy service stations on Ghana match days, you instantly win amazing branded souvenirs. Let's celebrate the passion of football together and win lots of gifts during the 2023 Total Energies African Cup of Nations. Remember, promo is valid while stocks last. Visit our social media pages Total Energies GH for more information. Terms and conditions apply. Let's live football together.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You all come back. Now, Deputy Minister of Energy Andrew Ejapamesa says the current power outages in Ghana do not warrant a load shedding timetable, despite the prolonged periods of power cuts experienced nationwide, including an intensification this week. Social media users have been calling for a load shedding schedule to plan their activities. Andrew Mesa, speaking on the City Breakfast Show, says Ministry of Finance has approved a 10 million sum to settle GNPC's debt to West African Gas Pipeline Company, and as a result, Ghanaians should not expect a formal load shedding schedule.
The doomsaw, as you and I know it, okay, was a power outage that stretched for in excess of 3 years. In fact, it was 4 years between 2012 and 2016, where because of some pipeline damage from Nigeria, the government at the time couldn't buy alternative liquid fuel to power our plants largely. And so we slept in darkness for 4 years. What had happened over the past few days is that some obligation owed by GNPC to WAPCO was an issue. WAPCO threatened, GNPC made some initial payments. It wasn't satisfactory. We requested the Ministry of Finance to top up, had to go through some approval process. And as of yesterday evening, following WAPCO's withdrawal of their services, the Ministry of Finance has approved the sum of 10 million to pay for the part of that debt. And so that was the hiccup that we had encountered, which then led to the outages over the past few days. But that has been resolved. Yesterday night, WAPCO services was restored, and gas was accordingly moved from the west to the east, to power plants in the east. And so there's no doomsday to warrant a schedule.
So based on the payments made, you can confirm that the outages we experienced for the past 3 days are over. So today, 11th of January, there will be no outage.
100%.
You heard the Deputy Energy Minister, Andrew Ejapamesa, speaking on the City Breakfast Show.
Let's talk about Galamsey now. We are told that police members have clashed with Cocoa Board anti-illegal mining team. We're told that over 10 police officers from Obuasi District Command in the Ashanti region this afternoon clashed with the Cocoa Board anti-illegal mining task force at Brofuyedro in the Ashanti region over police involvement in illegal mining activities at Old Atatam in the Fomina district of the region. Let's hear from Professor Michael Kwatin. He is the head of the anti-illegal mining unit at Cocoa Board. Prof, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you very much.
First of all, what's this anti-illegal mining task force by Cocoa Board?
Okay. Galamsey activities or illegal mining activities in the country is also affecting Cocoa Board. And because of this, management has set up decks to ensure that, or to come out with measures to prevent, if not eradicate, at least to prevent further destruction of our cocoa farms. And so that is the main reason why this deck, has come in place. And we are putting in place a number of measures And as part of the measures, Cocoa Board, we have a law that prevents people from destroying cocoa trees. That is the Economic Plant Protection Act. It was passed 1979, even though enforcement wasn't enough. So people are not aware of this law. Now, Cocoa Board is enforcing this law. So we are going around advising farmers, giving them details about the law as to what to do so that people will not go about destroying our cocoa farms.
Okay, now tell us what happened this afternoon then.
Yes, so as part of our, activities for the month, we are now in Ashanti region, going around sensitizing farmers about the measures that we've put in place. Today we went to Formina district. There's a town called Bofieto. When we got there, our officers asked us to visit a village called Old Atetim, that they were mining at that village, destroying our cocoa farms. So we went there, and lo and behold, there were excavators all around destroying cocoa farms. We met the farmers and then had a discussion with them. It was revealed that every week, police with their team, their task force will come and then take some money from the people, those who are not able to provide. They will take your part of the excavators, the control board and all that. And then when you go for it with your money, then they give it to you. So this has been something that is going on in the village. Few minutes after this, we were informed that the police are around, because today is the day that they are supposed to come. They are around. When we finished and were about to leave, we met them on the way. We were trying to find out from there what is going on. And then they said, let's move forward to the main road so that we can have a discussion. When we got there, they drove off. They didn't want to have any engagement with us. We were following them. One of our cars was in front of their car. When we got to barrier, they stopped our car. And so the police couldn't, go through the checkpoint. We all stopped there. And they got annoyed. That's why the car has blocked them. They started, trying to have confrontation with us.
Hello, sir. I'm sorry, we just lost Professor Michael Kwatin there. He's head of the anti-illegal mining unit at Cocoa Board. He was narrating to us a spectacle that occurred between his team and some police personnel. We'll be trying to get more from him and share that with you later. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Let's go to Kosia now for some other stories.
The Eastern Regional Parents and Teachers Association of Senior High Schools have contracted the services of some private tanker operators to provide water to senior high schools which have been affected by the Ghana Water Company's disconnection exercise over debts owed them. According to the Eastern Regional PTA, it has taken up the matter to ensure that contact time wasted by students in search of water before going to class is reduced.
This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Up next, we bring you the latest in the world of business. And then on Point Blank, we are going to the new face in the Dom Kwabenya constituency. She's joining us for a conversation on why she thinks neither Sarah Jo Asafo nor Michael Kwe Jr. should be the MPP candidate for the constituency. We'll talk to her. Please stay with us.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Get the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. Citi Business News. Be informed.
Time now for Citi Business News on Eyewitness News, brought to you by GCB Bank PLC. GCB Personal Loan. Make that big move and dream a reality. My name is Akosia Otre. Let's settle for the details. The Social Security and National Insurance Trust SNIT has assured of protecting pensioners against the rising cost of living while sustaining the scheme. This comes after SNIT increased monthly pension payments by 15% in line with its 2024 indexation rate. Following the review, all valid pensioners on the SNIT's pension payroll as of the end of 2023 will have their monthly pensions go up by a 10% rate plus a redistributed flat amount of 79 Ghana cedis 10 pesos. Or the minimum wage pensioner would receive 409 Ghana cedis 10 pesos as a result of the increase, while the maximum pensioner is paid in excess of 186,000 cedis. Joseph Poku is the chief actuary at SNIT.
So what goes into indexation? 4 main factors. The first is we project the wage inflation. And this year, the wage inflation has been projected to be 20%. The number 2 factor is to also find the CPI, what we call the inflation. So the projection for this year, 2024, was set at 23.16. The third is the liquidity, ability of the SNIT fund to pay. And the last one, which is to me the most crucial one, is the long-term sustainability of the scheme. Now, having considered all these 4 factors, ladies and gentlemen, it's my singular honor to announce to you that we came to a rate of 15% for 2024 that's going to apply to all pensions in payment overall. Now, I said overall because, are you going to pay this to everybody? No. We want to be able to redistribute so that those who are on the low pension bracket will be cushioned. Because if you have to apply the 50% to everybody, those who are having higher, who are getting 169,000, almost 70,000, are going to get 50% increase.
Joseph Poku is chief actuary at the Social Security and National Insurance Trust SNIT. Now, the Cybersecurity Authority has barred cybersecurity service providers, establishments, and professionals without licenses from operating in Ghana. This stern action comes on the back of the December 31, 2023 deadline set by the authority to sanitize the cyberspace. In a statement released today, the Cybersecurity Authority expressed its commitment to enforce the stringent provisions in the Cybersecurity Act 2020, Act 1038. It also warned that entities violating the laws will face criminal prosecutions and administrative penalties where applicable. Finally, as part of moves to establish a coherent data system of businesses to help inform economic policies, the Ghana Statistical Service says it is embarking on an integrated business establishment survey. According to the Ghana Statistical Service, the economic census, which takes off from January 15, is crucial in ensuring a better understanding of the economy. Speaking at the training for field workers in Accra, government statistician Professor Samuel Kobnaini urged businesses to avail themselves for counting to consolidate a set of registers for economic growth. Well, that's it for City Business News on Eyewitness News. It was brought to you by GCB Bank PLC. GCB Personal Loan, make that big move and dream a reality. My name is Akosia Otre. Up next is Point Blank.
Hello, Linda. You won't believe what I am planning next. I want to start my postgraduate degree, buy a car, and build my dream home. But you know what's stopping me?
What's that, Mike?
Money, oh. That'll be my biggest wahala.
Oh, you are sorted, Cry. With a GCB Big Move personal loan promo, you can borrow up to a whopping 400,000 Ghana cedis at a significantly reduced interest rate in less than 24 hours.
Like, seriously? How do I qualify?
Yes, it's available to all GCB salary account holders. Plus, you get a 2-month grace period before you start to pay back.
Susket, I'm opening an account with GCB now.
Get a personal loan of up to 400,000 Ghana cedis at a significantly reduced interest rate in less than 24 hours. Call 0800-422-422 or visit your nearest GCB branch today to fund your next big move as we celebrate 70 years of greatness. T's and C's apply. GCB Bank, your bank for life.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News. On Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3. Twitter at twitter.com/City973. And Instagram at instagram.com/City973. With the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Ready to upgrade to awesome? Say hello to the new Samsung Galaxy A05, A05s, A15, and A25 5G. Unlock the magic of the awesome screen, 6.7 inches of pure delight. Available in black, light violet, light green, and silver. Your style, your choice. The awesome 50-megapixel main camera gives you breathtaking photos. Built with the 5000 mAh awesome battery, guaranteed to last long, and a 25 watts fast charger ensures you spend less time charging. Make your memories awesome with any of the new Samsung Galaxy A series range of phones. It's not just a phone, it's a lifestyle. Fall in love with Galaxy all over again.
Embark on an unforgettable road trip across 14 diverse and vibrant regions of Ghana in just 8 days on the Heritage Caravan 2024. Get ready to immerse yourself in the rich culture, breathtaking landscapes, and the warm heritage-laced hospitality Ghana has to offer. From the Greater Accra region to the Volta region, to the Eastern region, to the Bono region, Ahafo region, Bono East region, to the Upper East region, to the Northern region, to the Savannah region, to the Northeast region, to the Ashanti region, to the Western North region, the Western region, the Central region, and back to the Greater Accra region. The Heritage Caravan will last for 8 days from Sunday the 3rd of March to Sunday the 10th of March 2024. An expedition full of excitement, education, information, wonderful memories, and great bonding moments awaits you. Call 0205-973-973 to register for the Heritage Caravan 2024 now. This is a journey of a lifetime to discover Ghana. The Heritage Caravan 2024 is powered by Citi TV with support from 97.3 Citi FM. Terms and conditions apply.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
This is Point Blank on Eyewitness News. I am Umaru Sandamado. It's some 27 minutes to 1900 GMT. On Point Blank tonight, we are going back to the New Patriotic Party's internal elections. 27th January, the party goes to the polls in constituencies that it has sitting MPs to choose new candidates for the elections. 18 sitting MPs have decided not to run, but the rest are all going, and they are facing competition. Some are going unopposed. One of the MPs facing competition is a Dom Kwabenya Member of Parliament, former Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, Sarah Adjoa Safo. She was also Deputy Majority Leader. She's been contested by Mike Okwe Jr., who was her challenger in the last primaries, where she won narrowly with just 8 votes. And I recall her crying after that victory. But that's not all. This time around, apart from Michael Okwe Jr., Sarah Adjoa Safo also has another competitor. Call her a new force in Dom Kwabenya. Sheila Sechi, that's the name. So Sheila Opon Sechi is my guest on Point Blank tonight. You're welcome, madam.
Thank you very much.
How are you?
I'm really doing well. How are you doing?
I'm fine. I've seen your posters, but I don't know you. Who are you?
Well, my name is Sheila Oponsechi. I'm a lawyer by training and profession, and I currently work as strategist at the Office of the First Lady. I have worked at the Dutch Embassy as a private sector and trade policy advisor. I've also worked with the World Bank project, GSDF, as a consultant, and I've worked as a lawyer with SK Boafo & Co. I've also worked as an administrator with Visit Scotland in the Aberdeen office. And I'm married, I have 3 kids, and I'm a Christian.
I see. Interesting. That's a short bio. I like it. I like it's crisp.
Yes.
Okay, so you said you were at the Dutch Embassy, what? Trade?
Yes, please.
So you are a trade expert?
Yeah, call me that. I am a trade expert.
What's the problem with our trade sector?
Oh, I think we've come a long way. Our trade sector in Ghana has come a long way, but there's work to be done. There's always work to be done. I was just with a group of businessmen from China, and they were talking to some members of GUTA just this afternoon. A few hours ago, actually. And one of the things that, they had a nice conversation, and then something that one of the Ghanaian businessmen said to me on the side is like, oh, these people come, and then before you know it, they've gone behind us and they're assessing the markets themselves. So I think there are issues there with our manufacturing, with helping our businessmen to do much better. I think there's a lot has been done. A lot has been done. We've made some significant gains, but I always like to say that we can always do better. There's always room to do more. So definitely, yeah.
You belong to the New Patriotic Party.
I am a New Patriotic Party.
The party campaigned on from taxation to production. It appears that the opposite is what's happening. What do you think went wrong?
First off, I don't think we've reneged on our promise to.
Oh, you did. You said that you're not going to tax us. You're going to produce for us. You are rather taxing us.
But I would just like to say that we know the problems we've had with COVID-19. We know the issues, the global issues challenges that we are facing. Just yesterday on CNN, I was watching, and I realized people in Europe are complaining that shipping costs have gone up because apparently they can't move goods from Asia to Europe via the Mediterranean. They now have to come down through Africa before they go all the way back up to, say, Rotterdam. So that's costing them a lot.
But that has got nothing to do with COVID.
It's got to do with conflicts. I mentioned the conflicts that we are facing globally. So,
but that's the recent one, the Israel one.
We had the Ukraine-Russian one, and then we're having this Israeli one. So what I'm trying to say is that there are really significant global upheavals that has made things quite difficult for everybody around the world. And I think in Ghana we are doing relatively well given the situation.
Let me ask you a hypothetical question. If you were a member of parliament and then an NDC minister for trade came to the house and said it was bringing an ally that would regulate the import of a number of goods, including Yamadia, what would be your argument, your debate? Would you be in support or against?
Regulated, as in never.
The ally to ensure
we produce Yamadia locally.
Did you follow the debate recently? That's serving as a basis for my question.
Yes, I think we must definitely regulate some things. We must definitely help our industries to grow. It's in everybody's interest to do that. And
even when the industry, we don't have the capacity.
So we have to build the capacity. That's where I'm coming to. It's in everybody's interest to make sure that we're using homegrown and we are making use of our own businesses and helping people do better. But we have to build our capacity. Umaru, I've worked as a development professional for years, and what I do know from experience is that you have to be deliberate about everything. You can't leave things to chance and assume that it's going to work out. Obviously, we all live in this life, and we know you can't control every single thing. But the things that you have a chance to work on, you should be very deliberate about what you do, and look forward to a good outcome. So. You have to grow the local industry. And you have to be very, very deliberate about that. You don't leave it to chance. You have to measure, give it time, use your best experts, put your best foot forward all the time.
But here's the case, your government has not fixed the fundamentals, and yet you are bringing an ally to prevent importation of these materials. What do you make of that?
I am sure we are working on the fundamentals. I'm sure. You see, sometimes you really have to take a decision, and then make sure that you work towards that. Sometimes you have to start with the end in sight, and make sure you work towards that. So that's definitely something to do. And I think farmers in general and livestock, I mean, this should be a happy time for them, and they should
take up the challenge.
And put the government to task.
You work in the office of the First Lady.
Yes.
What do you do there? What are your specific roles?
Well, I'm a strategist, so that means putting together plans and programs and making sure they're executed and achieved.
So are you a government employee?
I am a government
employee. Or you are a
employee.
First Lady employee?
I am a government employee.
So you are, but are you an appointee at the presidency?
I am an appointee at the presidency.
So when the list of people working at Jubilee House is sent to Parliament, your name is on there?
My name is on there, yes.
Oh, okay. And your specific designation is what? Advisor to the First Lady, or strategic advisor?
Advisor to the First Lady, but the details, the devil is always in the details.
So what are some of the things you do for the First Lady?
Well, most First Ladies come in and they have to use the channel of a foundation to achieve the things they want to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
And luckily for us, this particular First Lady, Mrs. Rebecca Akufo-Addo, she really wanted to champion the well-being of women and children. So we put together a strategy that would look at the empowerment of women, empowerment of girls. We'll look at the health issues surrounding women and children, their education, and then also focus on economic empowerment of women generally, and then other things, other odds and bits that add up to that, like nutrition, like advocacy for cancer, for instance. So if you would, I think everybody knows about the famous projects that she's done, like the Komfanotsi Cheating Hospital. Her work has significantly reduced maternal and mortality and infant mortality as well. Same in Kolebu. After years and years of Kolebu being the biggest hospital in Ghana, we didn't have an ICU for kids, a pediatric ICU, and she's been able to do one. And then a cancer hostel for Kolebu as well. And then in addition, maybe something that's less talked about but very important also is the libraries that she's built all over the country. She's built about 15 libraries in communities that did not have any libraries at all. And these libraries tend to be like a hub for families and children to learn and so on. Not everybody has the space, quiet space for learning after school. And the libraries have actually incited kids in these schools or in these communities to start up their own reading clubs, which is a beautiful addition that we didn't even start thinking about from our end, but which the children and their teachers themselves have come up with. So kudos to them.
So is she the one who told you to go and contest Dom Kabina?
Of course not. I'm an adult.
So who told you to go and contest?
I'm an adult, Umaru. I'm 40 plus. I have 3 kids.
I know, but I kept hearing that you are the First Lady's candidate. And so maybe I thought she sat with you and like, and maybe I would contest, mommy.
She doesn't even speak Fanti. She speaks
Ghana. Okay, well, contest no Jane can.
No could na kind crab me. She's not a political person, and she's everybody's mother.
So she didn't ask you to go and contest.
She did not ask.
It was your decision.
She didn't send me as we will say in Ghana.
Okay.
She didn't. Okay. She didn't send me.
Okay. All right. Then where did the idea come from?
I have been. I'd like to consider myself as somebody that's been raised by the party or gone through the party ranks. I've been an NPP member ever since I could remember. I think for most of us in the NPP, you're born into it. I'm one of those, and I remember very well when the ban on political parties was lifted. My mother would go with me to every single rally that was held in Accra. So maybe that's where.
So your mother was political.
Very much so. Yeah,
your father
she still
too?
is. He's a reverend. He was quite political, but when you're a reverend, you're
the
always
cassock over there. Okay.
You have to be in the middle so that you can gather all of God's children together,
whether NDC
and
or
march
MPP.
them, whether NDC or MPP or
Okay.
CPP, and march them to heaven. So
Okay.
that was his life's calling. And then I
So did your mother hold a party position?
Oh no, she didn't.
She didn't.
Yeah,
But she just loved the MPP.
absolutely.
And she put a love in you.
Yes, and I think it's a thing in the family. I mean, it's from when the NPP was perhaps UGCC became.
So it's from
Progress
the whole
Party.
tradition.
It's been the whole tradition. You know,
Okay.
the name's changed, but the tradition and the philosophy has remained the same. So at KNUST, when I went to Tech first year, I joined TESCON. I was an active member of TESCON, and then I became the Ashanti Regional Secretary for TESCON later on. And then after school, law school, traveled a bit, came back, and then I've also worked. 2016, I worked very hard during the campaign season. I was part of the administrative and logistics team at the national level, and 2020, of course, with the First Lady's campaign team. So I think if you're looking at people who've grown through the party, I'm one of those people who's,
But you've never contested a party position before, have you?
No. Aside from the TESCON one, I've never contested.
The TESCON was a contest, the regional secretary. That one was a contest, and you won. But you have not contested polling station or
well, I'm a
constituency or
polling
anything.
station women's organizer now at Balloon Gate, Kwabenya.
But you didn't contest that.
No.
Okay, or it's not contested.
Oh,
I
it's-
don't understand how the structure is. So I just
So let's talk about let's talk about Domi Kwabenya
no.
now.
Dom Kwabenya is what we are talking about. We want to know what you have done for Dom Kwabenya.
Well,
so if you are if you're a polling station women organizer, I want to know whether it's a position that you contested and won, or you were appointed, or you were chosen. How did it happen? That's what I want to know.
I was appointed.
Oh, okay.
And then if you're asking about what I've done for Domi Kwabenya.
Why are you not interested in the subject of?
Oh no, I mean go on. I thought you wanted to ask what I've done.
Yeah,
for
so I
Domi
just
Kwabenya.
is that not a position you held in Dom
It's a position
Kwabenya?
I hold. I currently
You
hold.
currently hold
Yeah,
that
I
in
currently
Dom
hold that in Domi
Kwabenya.
Kwabenya,
So
yeah.
what do you do for the party at that place?
What do I do for the
Yeah,
party?
as women organizer
As
for
women
the polling
organizer.
station.
Well, as a women organizer for your polling station, you're supposed to organize the women around your polling station. So per party rules, the job of a polling station executive is to work at the grassroots level within your polling station. So that is the work that I fundamentally have to do.
Okay.
I have gone further by working for the party throughout the community. Not just, I haven't been just at my polling station working, but throughout the community. So I have been working with the schools, with the GES and GAIS. I've done a lot of things with girls' empowerment because I truly believe in women and girls.
You're catching them
empowerment.
young.
Oh, I think it's very, very important. I mean, yeah.
So do you hail from Dom Kwabenya or you live in Dom Kwabenya?
I live in Domi Kwabenya. I've been living there since 2008, 2009.
Which part?
Kwabenya.
Also
Reggie
Kwabenya
Mandel.
itself.
Yeah,
So where's your
Reggie
polling
Mandel
station? Where do you
Estate.
vote?
I vote at House of Praise.
That's where you vote.
That's where I
So
vote.
you're a true blue person
I
in the
am a
constituency.
true. I am a true blue person.
Why do you think you should be the parliamentary candidate?
It's time. I always say 2024, the elections that we have coming up, it's a big one for us. We are definitely going to break the 8. And we need fresh energy, fresh vision, new direction. We need to sort of like energize our base in a very different way. It's very different from any other election that we've gone to. And I think the time is ripe now for Domi Kwabenya to have a new face, fresh energy, fresh vision, new direction, something different from what we've always done, because this is very different from what we've always done. So Sheila Oponsechi, I know that I have what it takes to make sure that we maximize our votes and our efforts in Domi Kwabenya to break the 8. We are breaking the 8 from Domi Kwabenya.
You keep saying you need a new face. What's wrong with your old face or the current face?
Absolutely, there's nothing wrong with old or current, but it's time for change. It's
So
time
just
for
changing because
freshness.
you want to change because if it's not broken, you don't fix it. What is broken about Sarajo Asafo, your incumbent MP?
Well, in Domi Kwabenya currently, we need to energize our base by bringing our party together. So we do
Is
have
your
a lot
party
of work.
disunited?
Oh, not so much about being disunited or.
You said you want to bring
not.
it together.
We need to bring our party together. We need to bring
But
our
if it's
party
not,
together
if it's
and
not,
energize
if it's
the
not
base.
divided, you don't bring
You know,
it together.
after you've been in power for 8 years, the reason that a lot of pundits or a lot of commentators will say that most parties or most governments have to leave after 8 years is that there's apathy within the party, within their base.
Mm-hmm.
That is a cause for, a lot of the losses that we've seen along the way. And in order to reduce that apathy significantly or do away with it, you need to change your tactics. You can't use the same old tactics that you've used over time.
But if there's
and
apathy,
a significant part of changing your tactics is changing the way you do things.
is your apathy not because of maybe apathy from constituency executives? They run the party, right? What has a member of parliament got to do with that? If you want to reorganize your base, energize you should have gone for youth organizer or organizer of your constituency. That's when you can do that.
I know I'm a better fit to be a member of parliament or parliamentary candidate than youth organizer or any of the other positions that may be available currently. But what I was saying before is that it is time. Domikwa is the biggest constituency or the largest constituency in Ghana as we speak, per the last registration exercise the EC did. Not just last one, and then also for the NPP, it's a stronghold for the NPP. So it is a very important seat for our party. It's a very important seat for the NPP. And I think that now that we need to break the 8, we need a candidate who's ready to bring everybody together on board, release all the energies that we can, create the synergies that are necessary to ensure that we maximize our votes in Domikwa.
I'm not pitching you against your MP, but you are seeking to take her seat. So it's fair to put a few of the questions to you in that regard. What has she not done that you wish to come and do? Or what has she done that you think is wrong, which you are coming to undo? Otherwise, what's the point of bringing you to replace her? That's the question.
Okay. The point of Sheila Oponsechi being elected as the parliamentary candidate for the NPP in Domikwa is because Sheila is ready to work. Sheila is a unifier. Sheila presents a neutral, new force, new vision, fresh energy that is needed and required at this time to ensure that we maximize our votes and retain our seats, increase our votes in order that we break the 8.
And you do not think that that can be done with your current MP at post?
I know that Sheila Oponsechi can. I know that Sheila Oponsechi can do that. That I know for sure.
But you don't know if the others can?
I can only speak for myself, and that is what I'm doing right now.
What does a constituency look like currently in terms of the possibility of winning the parliamentary seat? Are you suggesting that without your face on the ballot, the party is bound to lose Domikwa?
I know that we need a candidate that is ready to work, to do the footwork that is required, ready to work with everybody, bring everybody together so that we are able to together, united, we are able to release all the energies
you
that
keep
we can.
using united. How broken is the party in Domikwa?
Oh, I'm talking about unity. I'm not talking about. I'm an optimist, Umara.
I know, but if the party, if there's no disunity, there can't be unity, right? If you can't, you
can have money and have more money. Isn't that the case?
So you have unity and you are preaching for more unity.
Absolutely, you can have a good thing.
Because
and
you are
have
making
better.
it sound as if there's no unity in your party.
You can have good and have better, and you can have best. So
okay, let me ask you: are your constituency
going.
executives on talking terms with each other?
Of course they are.
Are your constituency executives and your MP on talking terms?
Of course they are.
So what unity are you trying to look for? How about your polling station, branch executive? Are they all united with each other?
Of course, we are family.
So it seems like unity is an integral part of your campaign, but I'm trying to get why you want.
What we need right now, I mentioned earlier, Umaru, after 8 years, there's definitely some level of apathy. So it's almost like teaching an old dog new tricks. It's a lot tougher, You might as well, So what we need right now is that freshness, that novelty, that uniqueness that a new candidate that vibrancy that a new candidate, that excitement that a new candidate.
What about the experience that is required? The experience would come from longevity in parliament, longevity in the constituency. Your current MP took over from Professor Michael Kwe, a very experienced man at the time. She took over. We saw what she did in 2012. She stood up and fought. And then, she was promoted in parliament, made deputy majority leader. She became minister of state and all of those things. She has a lot of experience on her hands. Between experience and a new phase, which one do you think your constituency needs and why?
Luckily for Dominic Kwabenya, I don't just come as a new face. I've had years of experience working within the party, outside as a professional. And so I have what it takes to make sure that I represent Dominic Kwabenya as well as it ought to be represented. And I definitely have what it takes to build on all the good work that's been done by those who've gone ahead of me. And do better because they've done great, and I will build on it to do much better.
When we look at the analysis, they say Adwoa Safo's father is a pastor. She has followers in there. They'll vote for her. Michael Kwe Jr.'s father was a former MP. He has followers. They'll vote for him. Who are the ones who are going to vote for Sheila?
The people on the ground, the NPP family who I've been talking to. I've taken pains to start working. One of the things that I've started doing, and I have done quite well, is to visit people in their homes one-on-one. I've done a lot of door-to-door. I've covered more than half of the delegates, the total delegates present. And the aim of that is not just to sell my campaign message, but to start building our family from the ground up and foster that unity, that excitement to be an NPP member, because we know that whatever we do, we need to kill apathy in order to do the work that we want to do for our party in Dominica.
But these party people you speak to are the same people that I've referred to from the two camps. And again, they have done it before. It was a fierce contest. They are known by the delegates. Are you sure that you can match up?
Yes. I have a message for Dominic Kwabenya that I picked up from the delegates themselves as I've gone around speaking with them. A message for unity, for freshness, for new direction, new vision, releasing our energy so that we can reduce apathy, and then also looking to seek the welfare of the constituents. And I've demonstrated to them that I'm ready to work with the community, participate actively in the community. So for instance, currently, I have a project that's running that we call Light Up DKC. By Light Up Dominic Kwabenya constituency, we are placing street lights in dark corners, especially in places where women sell and where families are bound to hover around or move around so that they are safer.
About how many street lights have you done?
Oh, off the top of my head, I'll have to double check, but I think now I follow the team for.
You can give me an estimate. You don't have to give me a specific.
Maybe we've done close to 150 possible.
Where do you get the money from to do that?
When you want to do politics, you need to find people who are like-minded.
But when you work with the president or you work at the office of the president and you spend money like that, the thinking is that you are chopping our money.
That's what people would like to say. It's not true.
It's not true?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely, there's no truth to that.
Your critics say that you are spreading money in the constituency and that you're hoping money is what would win for you, and that you're taking money from the presidency to do that.
I want to. I think that's funny. I think one of the things that a lot of them started saying was that, where am I going to find the money to run? And I kept telling people, I don't believe it's only of course you need to buy fuel for your car and help out with volunteers and stuff like that. But I think if you have the work ethic and the right message and you're focused and you know what you do and you have the experience, I don't think it's a thing that you throw money at people and all of a sudden they turn up to vote for.
There's a controversy that someone went to provide Christmas gifts and the OSP yesterday invited him. Did you give Christmas gifts to your delegates?
I had a Christmas party.
Oh wow, a whole party.
Yeah. My mother is Gam. My father is Buno from Nkranze Nyuma. So the guy and me, we like to party at the slightest thing. So we had a nice Christmas party.
There will be kinky and things, I'm sure.
Yeah, there was no kinky. There was fufa. I don't quite like kinky.
But they can, your Ghana's, we have to question it.
Maybe you can
question
it. We call it otin. Yeah. No, I don't.
But when they were leaving, you gave them envelopes, small envelopes.
There were no envelopes. You
didn't give them money.
No.
So you are not giving. If you don't give money, who we know?
We had. Maybe you can come and help me. And
no, you have to buy votes.
And then the OSP will arrest you.
Finally, what was the one thing that you want to do in Dom Kwabena if you became candidate and eventually became MP? What's one thing that you want to be remembered for?
That I worked hard, that I helped my community, that I left my mark, and everybody had a feel of it. So, Maru, one of the key things that I have been telling, my pledge to Dome Kwabena has been that we're going to establish funds, we're going to have a welfare scheme that would focus on education, on health, on helping our old people, and then on women and youth and economic empowerment. So we are going to have that fund. And we are also going to work very, very out. I am a person, I'm a very communal person. So we're going to work closely with our community actors and all the stakeholders there. I've already started doing it with the schools, with the work with the schools, training of women to acquire skills and etc. Working with trade associations like the hairdressers, like the tailor and dressmakers associations, and just being present for the community.
Wish you all the best on 27th January. And thank you for joining us for Prime Blanc.
Thank you. Grateful.
So that's Sheila Sechiopon. She is a parliamentary candidate hopeful for the MPP in the Dom Kwabena constituency. My name is Umaru Sandamado. This has been Eyewitness News. I did this with Akosia Autry. Production by Kobna Wilson, Beverly London, and Sami Wiafe. Technical support from Daniel Squashi. We'll be back tomorrow at 17:30 GMT. New media support came through from Daniel Anyoriga. Thank you for listening. Have a good night.